Where the fuck is McClay? Get in the car.
I'll fucking throw a can for him, dude. Cheesy motherfucker.
I need that.
Okay.
I do, sir.
Soft sticks.
Okay, where's the camera here? Okay, so episode 72. How do I do this again? I just slate it?
However you want, buddy.
Okay, you ready? The Bogcast, episode 72 with Adam Berardi? Adam Berardi.
Bernardi.
Soft sticks.
You start.
Oh, sorry.
Action.
Awesome. This is the Bogcast, episode 72. We are brought to you by Bang Salon. Come get all your hair needs, including cuts, natural colors. There's not going to be anything there. Oh, wait. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, the picture's there. Yeah.
Why do you gotta... Jesus Christ,
Who
you're
cares?
fucking everything up already.
Okay, I'll start over. Say action again.
Action.
Awesome. This is the Bogcast, episode 72. We are brought to you by Bang Salon. Come get all your hair needs, including cuts, natural colors, vivid colors, extensions, shampoo and stylings, all under one roof at Bang Salon. Find and message Bang Salon on Instagram at Bang Salon at BANGDSALON. Use promo code
Bogcast.
for 20% off your first visit. So come on down and get banged by Jordan. But if you really try to bang her, if I don't kill you, I'm going to bring Adam and McClay to come over and skull fuck you while I watch.
I don't.
Will you guys do that? Is that cool?
I guess. I mean,
Would you guys do that?
I gotta talk to my manager first, but I mean, if it's okay.
I mean, you're my best friend, so...
Okay, thanks. Thanks, bro.
Yeah.
Cool.
Check us out on Spotify, Google Play, Google... subscribe and like this episode. And make sure you're subscribed. Subscribe right now if you're not. And comment.
Sweet. Awesome. How's it going, Adam?
Doing well. Oh, also, and soon brought to you by at many major platforms via Overnight Pictures.
Can we talk about that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool? Let's talk about it.
Yes. So, how you doing, brother?
What's up?
He brought up something that definitely we've been wanting to talk about for a while.
Yeah.
So let's talk about it.
Yeah, we are proud to announce that we have distribution through Overnight Pictures.
That's right. Overnight Pictures and Distribution. We're a distribution partner, and we've partnered with you guys to bring your message to the masses.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Yes, the masses want it. This is the opiate for the masses. We are the opiate for the masses.
Calm down, McClay. Jesus.
Oh,
That's
sorry.
right.
I've always wanted to say I was an opiate. So
But yeah, that's really exciting. So I guess we'll take 30 episodes, divide it up into a few seasons.
yeah,
And
30 episodes for 3 seasons, so it'll be 10 episodes a season, and we'll probably put out the first 2 in the first year because that's how streaming works, and then we'll wait for the next one and see how you guys like it first.
yeah, it's gonna be fun.
yeah, we've been really excited about that. We just haven't really talked about it, so it's nice to kind of put it out
Get
there.
it out there.
Yeah, making the announcement.
So what else is going on with Overnight?
We're doing a lot of stuff. Clay's
I'm gonna
been-
just check your audios while you just keep talking.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm just gonna keep talking. Check my audios. So we are doing some great stuff. Boy, I lost my track.
Overnight Pictures.
I'm staring at his butt. I'm sorry.
Right.
Nice. So yeah, Clay Moffitt is the owner of Overnight Pictures, and I've done a lot of stuff with him in the past. So lately we've been doing a lot of different things. Pocket Man and Cargo Boy 2 is coming out shortly. It'll have a theater run like all of our movies, and then straight to streaming. So we're really excited about that. It's an amazing movie, leaps and bounds better than the first one.
I was gonna ask because we've had a lot of people talk about the first Pocket Boy. And
Well, a lot of some of our guests were in the
Jesus
cast.
Christ.
It's Pocket Man and Cargo Dude, or is it
I always mess stuff up like that, man.
It's a Pocket Girl and Cargo
Boy.
Fella.
Yeah.
It's
Cargozer.
Pocket Man and Cargo Boy. That's what it's
We
called.
talk about the first Pocket Man and Cargo Boy a lot on here. So we've been waiting to kind of hear what's going on with the second one.
It was a huge undertaking. I think that the cast was, we had 25 people. I think it was 25 cast members. Some great actors in the Valley. Great. We exceeded our expectations of what we could get and what we could do. I'm really happy with the end product. We rented out 2 very large mansions to shoot a large portion of this in, and there's a lot of locations involved. A lot of fighting. It's a lot of fighting.
I couldn't imagine having. That's one thing I'm glad I don't have to deal with. Is having to do all the behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah, who does all the choreography for that fighting?
So Tristan Koklanis is actually he's my stepson. So I lucked out with that.
Oh, that's because you were saying he's
my son, but he's also my stepson, and I love his dad. He has 2 dads, even though we don't live together anymore. No, I'm kidding. We don't live together at all. I was second dad. In case you're wondering how biologically that works.
No, but he was right. A lot goes on behind the scenes. So
absolutely. So it took them 3.5 months of training for all of these fight scenes, and they had to go to the karate school, which is at Mountain View Karate, located in Scottsdale, Arizona, on McDonald Drive. Go ahead and look them up. Mountain View Karate. Thanks. So we had Tristan choreograph all the fight scenes with these fantastic actors.
Like Ben.
Is it not Edwards anymore?
Yeah. Is it not Edwards?
Yeah.
Or he changed it? Is that an acting name now?
He's got an acting name now,
shit.
which is actually a smart idea. Don't be like me, and use your name.
Why is that smart?
So there's a lot of different reasons why. A huge one is you just don't want a lot of the public, if you become famous, which I'm not, to know exactly who you are or where you are.
To keep more private.
Yeah, if you want to. I don't care, honestly. But I think
there is weird people out there that, I mean...
Well, fuck, you just said you had a stalker.
I did, yeah. I won't talk about it, but yeah, so it was an experience. Yeah.
Weird thing.
It's an experience.
Yeah.
Anyway, who stalks me has got to be a psycho.
Well, not only that, I mean, we're a YouTube show. We have a YouTube show. We're a podcast. Even, 2 knuckleheads like us can put something out on the internet, and a lot of people will watch it that you may have never met. That there's some people out there that are gonna
want to kill us.
Yes. And one of the things that I was listening to that was kind of funny was people are talking about that Netflix show, You.
Oh, yeah.
And how creepy it is. And you hear a lot of people, when I listen to podcasts and people are like, oh, what are you watching? Horrible. Yeah, that's what people say.
Jordan watches some of the worst acting I've ever seen.
Oh, I don't know about that. I'm just saying, I heard how creepy it is.
Have you ever seen it in the movies that I've been in? Because if you haven't, then I wouldn't be
Me
saying
too,
that.
yeah.
Okay.
I've been in a lot of horrible shit.
That guy Adam is really bad. You should see him. He's unbelievable. Thank God I die in everything I've ever been in, so people at least have that payoff at the end.
Do you have that in like your contract that you
gotta
have to die in? Yeah, you have to.
Even if it's a romantic comedy, you've got to kill me.
Do you have a cool death face?
No, it's this face.
Is it the same as your cum face?
It's all my faces are the same. All my pillars of emotion are pretty much right here.
You're an actor, bro. It should be
all over. It's all over.
I keep looking over, obviously talking to our guests, and I see this picture that he has so graciously brought to us, and it's wigging me out, man, because that thing looks so much like Tim Curry. It's unreal.
I actually told the story, I believe, last time I was on.
Yes, you did.
What episode is that? Does anybody know?
It's
in the 30s.
30.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah.
So here we are. This is a painting that I am no longer allowed to have in my home.
Why?
Because it's creepy and nobody wants to see it.
So we're going to put it up here.
You're like, he's a creepy dude. I'll give it to him.
It's small. It's all done in acrylic. My mother-in-law was sleeping over one night and I loved to razz her. Hi, Pat. Hi. So I painted this, didn't tell her I painted it. It took me 8 hours before she got there that night to paint it and let it dry. And then I stuck it by her bed as she slept. So she woke up in the morning and it was right by her bed like that. And she didn't find it that funny. She doesn't really react that much. So then we put it in the bathroom window, then closed the blinds. So when she opened up the bathroom window, it would be facing her. And then it just stayed as a joke for a long time, but nobody wants to look at it. So I was hugging in my hallway. Every time I have an actor or a friend come over, they walk by and they go, oh my God, look at all these paintings, because there's a lot in the house. And then they walk by it and they just stare at it and don't say shit. Just go like this.
It's creepy as fuck, man.
Nobody likes it, huh?
Nope. Now it's yours.
Damn,
that was your curse painting.
Yeah, thanks.
Enjoy.
It's super creepy, though.
Well, it's funny. I used to do the same shit to him when we were roommates. I had a cardboard life-size cutout of Han Solo, and it would scare the shit out of me just in its normal spot. If you come home late at night drunk, oh fuck, I forgot it was there.
Was it him like shooting?
Yeah, shooting the gun.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I would like put it in his shower, but his shower curtain you couldn't see through. So like he would open it and be like, you just hear him scream, "Fucking Keith!" Or like just put it around a corner, or like same thing right when he woke up. Like it was just like that. I probably did that like 100 times.
Every time it scared the shit out of me, dude.
That joke never gets old.
It never does. It can't get old. You're not allowed to.
So we gave Adam our guest Ladmo bag today, and he started talking about how he loves all the little tchotchkes and the toys that are in there, and he started talking about how he's a toy fanatic. Oh, I love that sound.
Specifically He-Man, right?
Yeah.
What? I do. I collect toys. I have a lot of toys and comic books at home.
Woo!
But I like the old horror comic books from
Don't
the
make
50s,
that noise ever
60s.
again.
PCH, hell yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And that and the Vault of Terror.
That's gonna be that's my clip. Woo! Okay.
Publishers Clearinghouse.
Yeah, no shit. That's the noise they make.
Yeah.
They all do
The
the
old
same
ladies.
thing.
Yeah.
There's a lot of ways you can make that noise. It doesn't have to be Publishers Clearinghouse, but we'll have to get some over here.
No,
and
but
try
he
it out.
has a ridiculous toy collection, and he's very knowledgeable.
Well, that's
and
one of the other shows that I do, Tales from the Flip Side. You guys can check that out. Also check out comicbookinvest.com for all your speculating and comic needs.
nice plug.
Tales from the Flip Side, that's kind of what we do. We talk about, one, the toys that we loved when we were kids, and how many of us gravitate back towards those toys or those things that we enjoyed when we were kids as we get older. And I think, and I say it all the time on the show, that to me it's the reason that we do that when we get older is because it takes us back, memories.
Yeah.
Instantly take us back to a time where we had no troubles, we had no responsibility. The only thing that you really cared about is what cartoon you're watching Saturday morning and what cereal you're eating.
So while you're collecting the toys and doing these things, it's kind of therapeutic because it takes your mind off
Yes.
of it because you had no troubles and
Yes.
stuff. I see.
And then on top of it, those things are worth a lot of money.
Yeah, absolutely. I've had a lot of friends and artists donate things to me when they found out, because they reached right out to me and they were like, "Hey, listen, man, I want you to have this."
Yes.
It's just crazy things, like Man at Arms and Orko,
Oh,
So they
yeah.
gave me those, and I remember I found Moss Man in the original packaging with the fragrant smell, the pine
Yes.
needle smell.
People don't remember that. I talk about that all the time.
I
That
love
Well,
it.
explain
Moss
that.
Man had a smell.
Yep, he did. He smelled like pine needles,
Yep.
and I actually ruined my first one in the slime pit because I got slime all
Yeah.
over him because I was an idiot child, stupid child.
Yep.
So I found him and I took him home from his comic book store, and he was inordinately expensive, but I I took him home and I kept him with all my other stuff, and I just shared, I got this, and then someone said, "Hey, here's a battle pod, Skeletor's battle pod," and I got that. And then there's a really great artist, he's a comic book artist, that we're doing a video comic book. It's like a moving comic book we're gonna put out for him when it's finished. Dwayne, finish your effing comic book. It's kind of a Navajo-based folklore comic book. It's not really. It's a lot of different folklore, but that's a part of it.
Oh, that sounds really cool.
He's a Navajo, and he's a fantastic artist. So, anyway, he gave me Castle Grayskull, the original model with the door that opens up when you turn the seat.
This is a dumb question. What is that?
Castle Grayskull, the big castle that
He-Man.
Oh,
He-Man.
He-Man. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
the
Sorry.
green castle. Fuck, dude. Why do you gotta
sorry.
keep fucking this shit up, man?
So of course I
I'm
said,
gonna get fired.
Yeah.
"You're out of here." Oh, sorry. Fired.
So did you keep Moss Man unopened, the one that you bought?
Oh, there's another story for it, but yes, I kept him unopened. I didn't touch him.
Okay.
Until last week. It's another story. I'll tell you in a second. Castle Grayskull sits on my nightstand. Of course, I'm an old man now, so my pills go on the top of Castle Grayskull shut, and then that's. I still have it though. It's just in there. I won't play with it. My wife comes by, touch. I'm like, "Don't fucking touch that." My shit.
That's
touch my shit.
That's the truth, though.
It
That's
is.
the fucking truth.
So I got that, and I have like the old X-File toys with the aliens, Scully
Yeah,
Mulder, and
yeah.
stuff in this. But that's one I have, and I'm really, really, really proud of it. And a lot of my stuff is actually in my air-conditioned attic. That's all just boxed up.
Yeah.
But I have a friend of mine that we recently became really good friends. He's a wonderful person. His name is Burke Floyd. You might have seen him in Minority Report. He was in Big Mama's House too. The guy that says to Martin Lawrence, "Why don't you get out of here, Grandma? There's a cheesecake with your name on it." After he punches the guy out and he gets kicked in the nuts, that's Burke Floyd.
Oh, nice.
He's on Dawson's Creek and a bunch of great television shows, especially in the 90s. He's a really funny guy. And he was gracious enough to be on our movie Overnight Pictures, which we were talking about like a long time ago, but I forgot the subject. And it's called Sour. It's a thriller, and he was gracious enough to grace us with his presence and perform. And he's the main antagonist. He's an amazing person. He invites me over to his house because just so happens that there's a lot of people in the film community, like producers that work for Netflix, that live in my town. So and they don't leave their house.
Yeah, they don't need to.
No, they stay there all day.
Yeah.
So I knew he lived in town. I know exactly where he lived, very close. And he says, I want you to come over. And this guy's always on. He never sleeps. So he videos, hey man, I want you to come over. I'm doing like a charcuterie board, and I've made my own pickles, and I got this and soppressata, and I want you to come over. And I'm like, it's 10 at night. Like, I'm serious.
Coke?
No, none. Oh. He's just like that. He actually needs Ritalin, but like all great evil geniuses, they don't take the Ritalin and they just do a lot of shit. So
he needs the opposite of Coke.
He's always on. He's always doing something. Hands are in a million different things, and he's like, I need to come over right now. And I'm like, okay, I'll come over, dude. Absolutely, yeah. So I stop at the Bashes by the house and I grab a bottle of wine, and I'm like, I gotta get something. So I go back home because he has a son who is 6 years old. His name's Luca, and he's a fantastic kid. I'm like, I don't have anything to give this kid, because you go to someone's house, bring something. Yes. If you're invited over, bring something with you. Don't be a classless jerk. So I bring a bottle of wine for his wife. I bring a thing of flowers for him, and I bring Moss Man for Luca. And he's like, oh, great, you buy him a collectible, and it's still in the box, the white box and everything, the collectible box. And he's like, yeah, and he goes, Luke strips it open, and he's like, plastics out, and he's like, give me this thing, and he's like playing with it, and he looks at it, he goes, it has an extra head, because Moss Man had an extra head you could pop on. I'm like, yeah, and Burke's like, yeah, man, just, that's really cool. And he's like looking at it like this, like, how long you had that for? And I go, it's a toy. It's meant to be played with.
Yes.
I can get another one.
Yes.
It's fine. He still likes it. When I left, I saw Burke putting it back in the plastic. I'm like, it's fine. Just enjoy it, because
I'm glad you said that.
You can't take it with you.
I'm really glad you said that. That's the most important part, is that it creates emotion and memories and that type of stuff. You're right. You can't take it with you.
And when he opened it up, it smelled like pine needles in the entire house.
That's fucking awesome. That was one of my favorite characters because of that. I remember that memory is so strong in my head of Moss Man smelling like pine needles.
Remember how big they were when you were a kid? How they were like the size of your torso?
Yeah.
They're not that big.
No. It's crazy. And they
toys.
don't look that cool in reality, but because how we saw them when we were kids, they are the coolest fucking thing in the world.
Absolutely. Still
but then
cool.
Todd McFarlane came along and made him more realistic, right?
No, he didn't do He-Man. He did Spawn.
Oh, that's right. He did the Spawn stuff.
Yeah. Well, I just meant toys in general.
Oh, yeah. So that's funny you say that, because Todd McFarlane just got the license to do all the DC toys.
Oh, wow.
So the first line of DC figures that he's doing came out, and he has the license to do any character at any time period. So the first line that he put out, he did like a couple Batman from the 70s and Harley from the animated, and they look like the animated figures, really stylized.
Oh, wow.
And then he'll do ones that look really real, and then ones that look like the artist who drew them. I mean, he's just beautiful, big 7-inch toys, heavy. I mean, really nice. They're expensive. They're like $20, but that's where these toys have turned into, unfortunately. And
why, unfortunately?
Because they're not for kids anymore.
They're for us.
I know, but toys. Like a lot of those kids, aren't there toys for kids though?
There are.
But those are for like like us who grew up with those toys.
Point.
That, you know what I mean?
That's
like,
a great point. Yeah.
Like I look at video games the same way. Like they target my age group because they knew I grew up with this shit. You know
yeah, you're right. I need to look at it that way, because I'm really angry about something, and I'll bring it up here because I talked about it the last couple of days on the other show. Not only do I do the action figures and stuff, resale and stuff on them, but I also do sports cards.
Oh, nice.
And comic books, right? Comic books is the main thing, but also sports cards. And I've just recently gotten back into the sports cards to try and make some money off it, and also to have some fun. I go hang out with my dad, and I'll pick up a box of sports cards and open up baseball cards like we did when we were kids,
Nice.
And that's fun, right? And I'll videotape it, and we'll show what we got and talk about it. Well, what I've noticed that really pisses me off is there's only two places really to get sports cards nowadays. Retail stores like Target and Walmart, right? And I mean, you can go to a card shop, but there's only one or two of them, maybe, and they're super expensive. What a box of cards the manufacturer charges $100 for, the card shop and people who are selling them are marking them up for $500. So you
Sure.
can't get them. And the ones that are at Target and Walmart, as soon as they're put out by the distributor,
Nerds like you are in there fucking grabbing them.
they're calling the distributors, calling their buddies, going, "I just put them out here," or the distributor just buys them up themselves and then resells them for 1,000% markup.
Sure.
So what the biggest problem is that there's guys walking in to the sports cards section in Walmart and Target, my age, men our age, right, with little scales, and they're weighing packs to see, okay, the good cards are a little bit thicker, so I'm going to weigh them, all the packs, and whichever packs weigh heavy, I'm buying.
That's genius.
It's genius, but it's fucked up, dude.
It is messed up.
It's fucked up, man. Because now these kids that actually, there's only place for young kids to get cards nowadays are those Walmarts and Targets, right? And when they go there, every pack that they're buying is either all the good cards have gone through, or because the guy is searching them.
I don't think little kids are really collecting cards that much anyway.
They're not, but just.
It's more. I think
it's
feel
the
like
principalities.
I feel like adults are doing
it's-
that shit more than
it's
little
the
kids. You
principle of
told
it,
me
though.
little kids aren't collecting as
They
much
aren't,
these
but
days.
still, the only place that they can collect are those aisles in the store where they're waiting with their mom and dad, and they go, "Oh, look, new baseball cards."
When
for
I
the
think of
season."
baseball collectors nowadays, I don't think of little kids doing it how we did. I just
know.
think of grown-up nerds like you going around and doing
Yeah.
that shit.
It's
Yeah.
true. I haven't seen any kids doing it, but I
Kids
think I have a Daryl Strawberry card upstairs still.
Daryl Strawberry was my favorite player growing up, man.
Me too. Willie Mays too.
Willie Mays is my dad's favorite player.
Being a kid from the New Hampshire, Massachusetts
Yep.
area, you can't tell people you like Willie Mays. But I liked Willie Mays because he played my spot. So, and he actually goes. So my wife works at a casino. I'm not gonna tell you which one because she's hot and I don't want you to hit on her. Anyway, kidding. You can hit on her. Just tip her.
Did we just say Willie Hayes?
Willie Mays.
No, you said Mace.
I thought I said Willie Hayes.
No,
Willie
he
Mays
said-
Hayes.
he
We
said
said
Mays.
Mays. Yeah, you should have said Hayes. But he comes in once in a while. He's gambling.
Oh no shit.
Yeah, so I came in and I asked him for an autograph, and he's like, "You got a baseball?" And I'm like, "Nope." So I got a Willie Mays cocktail napkin autograph, but I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah,
so,
hell yeah, man.
baseball.
Willie Mays, Hank Aaron. Hank Aaron is really old now. He's in his late 80s, but man, he's out there talking up a storm about all this bullshit cheating.
Oh yeah,
He's saying those guys, ban them, kick them out of baseball for life.
sure, absolutely.
Yeah, you gave Charlie Hustle a lifetime ban for betting on sports. These guys need a lifetime ban for cheating on their own game.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, for one thing, can we exonerate Pete Rose already? I'm kidding. No, fuck him. I'm kidding. Fuck you, Pete. I'm sorry. Huge slight on where I'm from. Just don't ever. I hate you. Go back to Vegas, sell more cards. I'll never say that about anybody else, but I don't like you as a person. I think you're a bad person.
Yeah, considering he signs baseballs that say I cheated on baseball. Pete
Yeah.
Rose.
Yeah.
Pete Rose.
Yeah. I think he does, doesn't
Yeah.
he? Jerk. Anyway.
Yeah.
Um,
It's crazy. The whole cheating scandal. I know we're talking about sports on here, and we don't.
I don't
talk
give
about
a shit.
sports, but this cheating scandal has really kind of pissed me off.
I don't even know what you guys are talking about.
I
but
stopped watching sports when it started looking like they were cheating. That was back in like 2003.
Yes.
I was like, I stopped. So people were like, you want to watch a football game? I'm like, I haven't watched football in like
I don't
20
give two
years.
shits about
Yeah.
sports. I
I
just
stopped caring.
I just
Sure.
a wasted time and investment. And I think Jerry Seinfeld said it best: is you're actually just rooting for laundry because that's the only thing that stays consistent. Like the players change, no one's ever from the city you're rooting for. So really, you're just rooting for laundry.
Yes.
I love that bit. It's like
Yeah,
so.
I enjoy it still. I went to a spring
But I
training
don't know.
game, and
I
it was
still
fun,
agree
but
with it for kids and development and teamwork and stuff like that. But
I think organized sports are great. My son wasn't into organized
Yeah.
sport. He liked the
I do agree
karate
with
aspect
that.
of it. We should probably get back to that. But he did that instead, and he did gymnastics and a bunch of other stuff. But he didn't like organized sport. But he still got into a sport.
Yes.
And I
well,
think
we never
that's-
did finish talking about
Okay,
his
so
choreography for the.
yeah, let's rewind it.
We're good at that.
So what were we saying? Okay, Pocket Man and Cargo Boy 2. It's the Rise of Sir Longbottom. That's the name of the movie, Rise of Sir Longbottom. Sir Longbottom it's a great movie. You guys are gonna love it. Anyway, Tristan Koklanis is my stepson and my real son, and he's a 4th degree black belt. He achieved that with the World Taekwondo Federation before he was 24 years old.
Wow.
Which is unheard of. It just doesn't happen. He got it. He is not only is he a monster of a human being, he's just a giant human being, but he's the best karate teacher I've ever seen. He teaches kids, like small kids, all the way up to adults, and he's just phenomenal. And he
Much respect to you, brother.
Yeah.
Much respect to you.
his father, my lover, no, his father, Nick. Hey,
I was
Nick.
waiting to see how you were going to handle that
Nick,
one.
yeah, he's like a brother from another mother, and he started
An Eskimo
training.
brother.
That's right.
Yeah.
We get in the igloo. No, so no, this kids could watch this. Sorry. Let me get back to this.
Yeah.
So he started him at a young age, like 3 years old, and he wanted to teach him Tai Chi and Wing Chun and Taekwondo, and they learned all these forms. Tristan boxes now. He's just this amazing talent. Amongst other things, he's a musician like yourself. And they play in an Ultimate Bon Jovi band around town.
That's cool. I remember you talking about that.
He's so dope, but he taught all these kids. We have behind the scenes we've done on both. There's one on YouTube right now for the first one, behind the scenes. And he trained all of them. This one was much more intense. So it was really nice to watch him do it. Everybody did a great job. There were a few injuries. There were things like that during training, but we worked out all the kinks. And some of the fight scenes you're going to see are multi-room fight scenes and crazy things going on that you would not be able to think that any independent film company could put on, much less seeing in Hollywood. Like seriously, like Jason Bourne style awesome.
I love that.
So
how far did you guys go and did you guys like storyboard the fight scenes and then come up with the choreography? Like how did you guys plan it?
Tristan and I got together well before anybody showed up to the dojo, and we for months we talked about what we're going to do, how we wanted to do it, looked at the script, and then he choreographed stuff with his wife Piper, and for the girls scenes and things like that. And then we would talk about what I would like to see, how the cameras will be set up, because
when you say cameras, so you're doing two?
Yeah. Okay. Sometimes we did two, sometimes we did one. It just depends. A lot of the productions here we use one camera for, because it just the ease of editing. Sometimes with the one camera is just fine, especially like for me, I'm actually editing sour, and I really like editing a lot. But
sometimes for fights, those two cameras are good just to get that extra angle.
It is, but sometimes you want to trick people and you can't use that angle anyway. So
true. Yeah.
So it didn't really matter. But you know what? It was great, and it was fantastic. He did a great job. The actors did a great job. No matter how much I yelled on set, they all were professionals, and they were just amazing at what they did. I mean, I can't wait for people to see it.
Are you like the AD on there? Is that kind of sense?
Yeah, I'm more like an EP on most of the things that I do for Overnight Pictures now. So, and that's pretty much my facet.
Well, I figured you're doing multiple hats, EP, but also maybe AD.
Oh yeah, I also do makeup, and I foot massages. Yeah, I do all of it while I'm on set. Craft services.
Oh fuck! Did you bring a lighter?
I did, but it's outside.
Oh fuck! Do you have a lighter?
I do not have a lighter.
We've been lighting our blunts with this fucking torch.
I'm a gummy
Don't
guy
set the
myself.
microphone on fire.
I don't blame you for that.
Do you still take gummies?
I got baby lungs, so I do gummies.
I don't, and my dad has that problem too. So my dad does the RSO because he has the baby lungs. So he does the RSO because of that.
Every week, me and Jordan say we're gonna quit the blunts.
There's something
about
I don't know what it is, but there's something about it that just makes it smoother. It makes it
the tobacco.
If I use a water bong, it kills me, and I don't want to be choking.
I was always a bong guy until we just started the blunt thing. Since you started showing up at 10 blunts every fucking podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. I actually myself, I don't eat the gummies as much as I just butt chug them.
You just put them in your butt.
Yeah, and it takes a while to absorb.
I love that word, butt chug.
Because it's a loose crevice for me, so like it just jiggles around.
I know you're
there.
fucking around, but put RSO up your ass, you'll get fucked up.
I'm good.
Just saying.
Try that sometime. We're back on drugs again. We're doing the drug thing.
I got some if you want.
Parental guidance is suggested.
McClay will put it in there for you.
Only if that happens.
Yeah.
It works great for hemorrhoids.
We'll do it. Just give me some of the tincture.
No, it doesn't. You told me it doesn't.
Just a little bit around the perineal area. Stupid.
You know who told me what works great for hemorrhoids? Actually, I'm not going to say who.
Yeah.
But one of our friends said cocaine.
And at
Because
first,
it numbs it.
at first you're like, you're an idiot, and then you're like, well,
Makes sense.
makes sense. Hemorrhoids can fucking be painful.
I haven't had any yet, but I'm sure lidocaine would do the same thing.
You never
don't
had
have
a
to do
hemorrhoid, bro?
cocaine. Never.
Wow, you're so lucky.
It's
Really?
funny. It's funny. You
This
would,
is
At
your
my
whole,
age, I
when you
haven't
have
had a lot of
hemorrhoids,
stuff
this
happen.
is your whole life. Just like all day, you're just like this.
Really?
For those non-listening people, Keith's just readjusting himself all the time because he can't sit on it.
That's like all day. It's like, fuck.
Imagine driving, having to do that all day.
That's-
Like if you had a job where all you do is drive all day and you have the
Well, no,
worst
you bring a
hemorrhoids.
donut.
Oh yeah.
Sit on. That's actually my acting goal, bro. I will retire once I get like a Preparation H commercial. I want to be that guy. Have you ever seen that commercial where he's an actor actually, and he jumps on a horse, and then he's like, "Oh, my hemorrhoids!" And then they cut to the product, and then he plies it, and then they're like, "All right, action." He does it again. And this time he's on the horse, he's fine, and then he rides off.
So this is a weird
That's
conversation.
the greatest That's the greatest commercial ever.
It is good. I like it. I like it a lot.
I remember that. That was a long time ago.
I did not see that. You guys will have to put a link if you watch the video. Be like, and show the clip.
Yeah.
It's funny. I like that. It's good. Good stuff. Wow. Where do I go from there?
Pocket Man and Cargo Boy too.
Pocket Man and Cargo Dude.
How was the Sour shoot?
Sour was phenomenal. So
What was your involvement in that? Were you acting in it or behind the scenes?
we had a great cast. We still have a great cast. Rick Revanello was going to be in it as well, and he's from LA. He's a big actor in LA. If you don't know him, you can just look him up. I'm not going to really cite his references. In the very last minute, he had to be in. He's doing a TV show in Prague, and he had to be in Prague. His manager's like, he's got to be there. He didn't talk to me about it. He was doing it as a friend thing. Great guy, by the way. Thanks, Rick. We totally understand. It's not a big deal. So the last minute, we had to switch it up, and Burt Floyd, being the consummate professional that he is, was originally supposed to play this detective, and then Rick was supposed to be the villain. And I told Burke, and he goes, "Hey, listen, let me just workshop this, see how it works out." He came on set. He was the character. Terrifying, read the script properly, understood everything, and he had like 3 different options, which is all, that's what you want. 3 different options for each one. I knew he was going to bring it, so I didn't really care, but it was amazing. It was terrifying watching him
That's
work.
a professional.
Yep. And then I had to play the detective, which I am not a professional, but I think I rose to the occasion just fine. So I play the detective, and hence I have a big shaggy beard right now, and I have to look a lot older than what I am.
Isn't it weird how every time like somebody wants somebody to play like a detective or like they got to have like a beard, a professional beard, like you look
Distinguished.
Yeah. You know, I wanted to pull off the Bill Pullman from The Sinner, so I looked like
me
him.
and my girlfriend watched that show. She likes that show. I was kind of iffy about it.
That was my rendition anyway. I actually just pretended I was him the entire time, and sometimes it worked, I think, pretty well.
They had that weird plot line where like he just like to have his like toes crushed by chicks, and
I like it a lot.
It was so weird. It was like
I haven't even seen it yet.
It's a show with Jessica Biel, and then there was this plot line where like he had these like weird sex addictions where he would just go and just like have a chick fuck him up, but it had nothing. It never tied into the rest of the story or anything.
We seen that happen live.
Yeah. Did you?
Yes.
Wait, what?
Did it happen here?
No, it happened
Not in this seat,
at
right?
a strip club
Okay.
with a guy that walked in with a friend that we had. She was a dancer, and this guy would just come in, and he was like in his normal 9-to-5 suit attire, come in at the end of the day, and he would she would walk over to him, and he would sit at the table, and she would handcuff him to the table, and then just proceed to take her
Step on his
heels.
cubes, huh?
Yep.
Wow.
Yes. And then he would just lay money on the table. And then at the end, when he was done, he would push the money over to her, and she would unlock
What
him. He'd
kind
get
of
up and walk
fucking
out.
trauma did that guy go through?
I don't know, but
Not enough in life.
Yeah, hey,
Not enough.
I props to him, man. He knows what he likes, and he goes in there, and he probably gets that done once a week. And him and his wife are probably 40 years, happy marriage.
Hey, there you go. There you
Yeah,
go.
whatever works.
Wait, do we know the guy or we know the
We know the
stripper?
chick.
Okay. I was like, what?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. So, well, okay. Wow, this is gone. This is
But
taking
it-
some turns. This
Our
conversation.
conversations just go
Yeah.
everywhere.
I like it. Yeah, I can't navigate this at all. These waters.
And
are
then
choppy.
we get too stoned to remember what we were originally talking about.
Yeah.
These waters are choppy as fuck.
Yeah.
I like
We're
it though. I like
Deep
it.
water.
I enjoy it. This is why we bought into you guys. Like, yes. It's a choice of a new generation for sure. What's with the Dr. Pepper over there? I thought we were doing squirt. Sell out.
Yeah, no shit.
Double sell out.
I mean, he's really calling me out because I feel even worse because I got this shirt on.
Is it cherry Dr. Pepper or regular?
It's cherry Dr. Pepper only because we ran out of squirt. Fucking Squirt. What the hell? I mean,
So cherry Dr Pepper.
Have you tried calling them yet and asking for a sponsorship?
No.
It's probably the first thing you're going to want to do is call. I
Yeah,
mean, just
yeah.
ask. I mean, what's the worst?
We were hoping
He's
that
wearing
they
a
would check
fucking
it out.
shirt, for Christ's sakes.
Yeah, this shirt, I don't need to call it, screams out
Did you
to
have
them.
to cut out a bunch of like codes and then send it in, and then they send you that shirt?
Box tops.
Like 100 of them?
box tops. Yeah, G.I. Joe action points. The action points on the back
With
of
their
G.I.
squares?
Joe.
The Bogcast.
Yeah.
Soon brought to you by Squirt. Squirt. Drink some shit.
I'm gonna have to wear squirt shit.
Yeah, all day.
That would be hilarious.
It's grapefruit soda for people who like grapefruit. Nobody likes grapefruit. I hate it.
yeah, no shit.
You know what's funny about that? Here's the reason why I like Squirt, because I like grapefruit, and the only reason I like grapefruit is I never had it before until me and Keith decided we were gonna go.
You never had a grapefruit before?
Until I was about 50. Excuse me. I never had a grapefruit that was good.
Okay.
Until I was about 15 or 16. One of our buddies has family that lives in California, and we decided we were going to take a summer trip out there. We all piled in a van, me and a bunch of buddies, including Keith. And Keith decided that it'd be a good idea to take 3 hits of acid. And so he talked me into it. I don't know how he did that. But so we decided to each take 3 hits of acid on this ride over there. Well, we forgot that sometimes when you take 3 hits of acid, it makes you stay up pretty late. So we were up all night, trying to sleep at this big, huge mansion. And
our friends' grandparents are fucking loaded. They lived across the street from Wayne Gretzky.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So we were like frying balls. They got like, oh my God, that's Wayne Gretzky's house. Like,
and in
it's
the
so
morning,
weird. It was so weird.
And that morning, so for breakfast, we all go down to the table, and there's on our plates our half grapefruit, and I never know people eat it like that. And so I went to go, and it was fucking amazing. It was just right then.
This is the thing, though. So I don't think Squirt tastes like grapefruit. And as a matter of fact, I was watching a Rogan clip earlier. He brought up a great point. Nothing tastes like barbecue chips. That doesn't taste like barbecue. We're just used to that taste of what that is. Like orange soda. That doesn't taste like a fucking orange. You know what I mean?
Squirt
We're just
tastes
used like. Does that really taste like a fucking?
Squirt tastes like a grapefruit with sugar on it.
Yep.
And that's exactly what it was. I put grapefruit. You sprinkle a little sugar on it.
I think there's actually grapefruit juice in that.
Yes.
So
10%.
You know what else is in it? Chemicals from fucking China that will kill you. Watch episode 10. I did a fucking whole intervention on his ass because he drinks this shit too much.
They put a lot of COVID-19 in that.
He's gonna die.
Yeah, they put yellow number 5 in there.
You know what I'm gonna do when you do die from that? I'm gonna fucking
And
pour instead of a 40. I'm gonna pour
not brought
squirt.
to you by Squirt.
That's not.
Instead of pouring a 40, I'm gonna pour squirts.
Okay.
For squirt. I'm just going to squirt my pants.
Yeah, that's what's gonna happen
Same
after
color.
you drink squirt.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I actually drink a lot of crap. I do not.
Whoa.
Oh, nice. I'm not an MMA, but I do drink this Zions here, which is delicious. This is Frostberry Blast, and it's 0 calories, and it's wonderful.
Yeah, my brother loves.
Are they paying you to say that?
I'm not going to say they're paying me to say this,
What the-
but it's wonderful. At all your Circle Ks.
Yeah.
Probably. I don't know. It's good, though. I like it.
There's too many amazing, good coffee shops around here to, you know what I mean?
In this area in the Phoenix, in Phoenix?
Literally within walking distance, there's just 3 of the best coffee shops around.
Really?
Yeah. Copper Star, there's Dark Hall, there's Lux, there's actually Urban Greens, or what's it called? No, Urban Greens is the dispensary. It's just called Urbans. But yeah, there's a lot of good coffee shops around here.
A lot of good $5 coffee?
Yeah. It's pretty sad. I was thinking about that the other day, how much you pay for coffee.
Bikini beans. Try bikini beans sometime. So I'm not a weird pervert going to a place that girls I said the P word so hard in this I almost blew my eardrums out. I'm not a weird pervert that goes to these places. But there's a place called Bikini Beans, and women wear bikinis outside. There's one in
There's one up the
Scottsdale.
road.
Oh, is there one?
Yeah.
And I go because I really am tired when I'm exhausted.
You just want to look at boobies.
I get back into town. I get off the 202. I'm driving up Scottsdale Road, and I see this place. I'm like, coffee. I'm gonna go. So I just pull in to get coffee. I didn't have my glasses on like I don't now, so I didn't know what it was exactly. I saw 2 coconuts, and I was like, this is cute. So I drive in. Girl leans in my car. Glitter gets all over my car. There's glitter everywhere. Then she has a bikini on, and I'm like, oh, hi. And she's like, hi. And I'm just doing that thing where I'm trying to move back a little bit because she's like way too close. Like, what can I get you,
Face
sugar?
talker.
Like Hooters from the 80s. Like, what can I get you, darling? And I'm like, I just want a coffee. And she's like, what kind of coffee you want? I'm like, can I just have a black coffee with like 2 sugars? She's like, sure, honey. And she's like leaning in the car and like, what are you doing today? And I'm like, just getting coffee. So for me, that's not a selling point. But the coffee that I got there was effing amazing. It was the best coffee I've ever had.
Really?
It was really good. And it came with a little stir that corks off your coffee lid that looks like two boobies in bikini, which is really funny. And it was so good. I had to like immediately call my wife and be like, hey, listen, I just stopped at this place. It's called Bikini Beans. These chicks are wearing bikinis. She's like, sweet. And I'm like, no, they have coffee. And the coffee's really good. She's like, sure, Adam. I'm like, no, it's really good. You have to try it. And everybody that I've ever talked to is like, that is some good freaking coffee.
I've been meaning to try it.
It's
only at Bikini. So I don't know. There's a couple different Bikini Beans, but I've only been to that one.
Okay, I was going to ask if it's like a chain or...
Oh, yeah, there's one on 7th Street.
There's a bunch of white big Ford trucks in line, so it's kind of hard to get. It's a bunch of big men with huge penises in line trying to get coffee from girls with bikinis.
Yes. That's a good idea. I mean, they probably have that business model for a lot of other things.
I imagine all the guys in line are all bald with a pair of Oakleys on their forehead and a goatee and
wearing a hat
and a tap-out sticker on the back. But it looks what it looks like.
My favorite kind of dude.
I love them, dude. They're awesome.
There's so many coffee shops, you have to have some type of gimmick to stand out.
It's good coffee. It really is. So I think that you come for the boobs, you stay for the coffee, and I think that is all that really matters.
Yes.
So there you go.
Old school Hooters style.
Yes. Speaking of coffee, so here's another story. Okay, so the actor I was speaking about earlier, Burke Floyd, we're going to finish a shoot that day for Sour. And he's like, I need to get coffee, guys. I'm really tired. Do you mind if we stop at Starbucks on the way? There's one on the way, and I have an app. What does everybody want? I'm like, don't worry about it. We'll buy the coffee. You don't buy coffee. He buys coffee for everybody in the car. What do you want? You want a muffin? You want this? You want that? And he's ordering all this stuff. He says, I just ordered it as we're getting to the line because it took that long. And on the Starbucks app, they already had the order. He's like, hey, I'm just here for Burke. No problem. We drive up to the front. And he says, hey, man, hey. I hear him in the back. Real quiet. Do you mind asking him for a straw? I said, sure, I'll ask him for a straw. And I look over at him, and he's got his iPhone out, and he's recording me. I'm like, what is he going to do? Because you don't know what he's going to do. You don't know what he's going to do. And he goes, hey, Adam. So what? Says, hey, also tell him when you get your coffee that it's not sweet enough, and if he could stick his pinky in and make it sweeter. And I'm like, and I'm on camera, so I'm going to do it. Like, you can't not do it if someone's recording you. That's the rule. So I ask him, and the kid just explodes in joy and giggles and gives me the coffee. And we say, fine. And I sent you a video because it was so funny.
That's all.
And then I got a call from him like a day or two later. And he's like, I don't believe this. And he's like on his phone shaking. And it's like, you can see his face. He's like, so I'm in a Starbucks line at a Target. And there he is. I go, who's? It's Pinky Sweet. It's Pinky Sweet. He's in this line, and he's regaling the girl behind the counter with the story of what happened. So I played the video because they're laughing. And I played the video and just turned around. He just turned around really quick like this. And stared at me. So he says, I said, okay, but he's probably pretty pissed now. He's like, no, he's right here. And he like pulls him to the camera. He's like, what's up, man? I'm like, what's up, dude? He's like, hey, sugar. I'm like, oh, I love you so much. So it was really funny. So because of Pinky Sweet, we are doing a clothing line. We were inspired to do one because it's Pinky Sweet. We call him Pinky Sweet, and why I did my finger in the coffee, the whole joke is he looked like a very young 2000s Justin Bieber. He had the hair and everything. It was really beautiful. And so I'm going to do just the hairline that looks like kind of like a Bieber-esque hairline with a nice PS in the middle and call the clothing line Pinky Sweet. And we've decided to donate 50% of the proceeds of this to a LGBTQ plus awareness foundation. So if there's any out there that want to reach out to us, reach out to the Bogcast at this email below.
It's gonna be a bunch of dicks,
but just a bunch of D's touching me just on my face right below, and they'll get you in contact with us. We'll get you on here maybe, and help some people out. And then
that's actually a great name for a clothing line, dude.
Pinky Sweet. And you know the thing is that there can be a humor to things.
Yes.
But you can't be malicious about it.
Yes.
These people everywhere. You've never walked a mile in their shoes. You can't walk on eggshells around them. But humor is something that everybody can enjoy. It brings us all together. So after we do this one, I think I'm gonna do another one about politics, and it just be like so everybody can laugh at each other, and it'll be fun and enjoyable, and it won't be malicious because I think that's what we need in the world: a little bit more humor and a little bit less of the dickheadedness that comes around with social media and the opinions of people and just everything else. You know,
I think it's getting to a point where it's getting. I guess the perfect word for it is getting cheesy. You know what I mean?
Sure.
It's really cheesy nowadays how ridiculous it's gotten.
And we're not buying into it that much as the American people any longer.
No.
We were recognizing that as bullshit.
Yep.
But by that same token, the damage has been done. So let's just repair the damage.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal.
Yep.
Let's laugh about it. If you want to call me a bleeding heart liberal and make fun of me all day long, go ahead. It's totally true.
Yeah.
It's absolutely true. Everything you say about me that's ridiculous is 100% true, and I don't mind. Especially, I have a lot of friends that are Republicans, or not just Republicans, but conservatives, and they're all over the board when it comes to me and how they feel about me. And you know what? 100% of the stuff they say, though, is true about me, and it's funny. That's why we have to have them as a counterbalance, and vice versa.
Yeah.
So there's nothing wrong with them, and there's nothing wrong with us. It's just we have to understand that you don't marry a person who's exactly like you, or you guys are going to murder each other in your sleep, one of the sleep, So
and nobody is exactly alike. Nobody.
No.
We're supposed to be different. We're supposed to figure things out. We're supposed to talk to other people that have different experiences than us and go, oh, what was that like for you? And then when they say it, then you can go, oh, well, I took it this way, or whatever.
Sure.
That's the important thing. I feel like here's a perfect time. We've brought it up on the show, the whole thing that happened with Ari Shaffir and the Kobe Bryant stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I get why people got angry. It's okay to be angry, but listen, he's a comedian. You take a swing and miss sometimes.
Sure.
And
more famous than ever now.
Yeah,
though, so
yeah, and
a win for him.
and it's a win for him. But that's it. The guy wasn't trying to be a dick. He was trying to get his name out there. That's what they do, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. So instead of this cancel culture where everybody's like, boom, call his agency, get him kicked from the agency, call all the places that he's going to play, cancel all his shows. It's like, no, you gotta look at it you can't look at it from that angle all the time. You know what I mean?
No, I mean, Carroll O'Connor used to play Archie Bunker, right?
Yes.
And he was a liberal guy, and people don't know that about him. And he wasn't making fun. He was kind of making fun of the conservative culture of the time, but by the same token, he was bringing light to every aspect of it because he's a smart man. So that's why he did it.
Yep.
And we all have to remember that. I think the Pinky Sweet collection that is already trademarked. Don't you touch it. It's ours, and we're gonna give that back. And when that's finished, we're gonna do something else, and it's important to do that stuff. So.
Yeah.
But that was a funny thing that happened anyway, so I wanted to share that with you guys because I thought it was the funniest thing that happened to me all week.
Well, we talked about earlier. It's awesome that something funny happened, but you're making something positive to come from that.
Yeah, I think it was a good time. It was really really good time. So, and I think that's it's important. So,
very cool.
What else is going on with Overnight or any future projects?
God, so we're doing Pocket Man and Cargo.
When can people see that?
Pocket Man and Cargo Boy 2: The Rise of Sir Longbottom should be in theaters late summer. It's almost finished. We're just finishing up a few of the different fight scenes. We built a very large stage set that's a forest. So we had so there's a fighting in the Amazon rainforest. A lot of great stuff.
You brought a lot of the old actors from the first one back.
Yeah,
too, right?
they're on contract. They have to come back for those. And if they're out of state now, it's on their own dime. That's the rule. You signed the contract. You signed it, sucker.
What?
You're making me nervous.
Yeah, that's it. You signed that contract. You signed a contract too. See you in hell.
Oh fuck.
See you in hell.
That's right. Who knows where this is gonna go? So they all came back. It was a great time. That'll be out. Sour will probably be out. Right now I'm in the middle of editing the first rough cut. I think I'm on like scene 9 out of 16. So it's coming along really.
Is that
quickly.
a short?
No,
it's a feature.
It's a terrifying feature.
Oh wow.
So it's coming along. It's just trucking along. When you have a perfect DP in Clay Moffat, he actually ran DP on this. We got real tight with it. He ran camera on it the entire time. I stood over his shoulder. I directed. We had sound. We had 2 sound people there. Slate. Sometimes I'd grab lights, and just change the lighting, and it worked out very well. We kept it very tight knit. It was a very passionate project, and we really gave it our all. And I'm really, really happy with how it turned out. I watch pieces of it now because I'm editing it, and I'm like, God, that's creepy.
Is it cool to talk about your editing process for a second?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I don't know how many takes you guys are doing, but when you're doing a scene, do you just watch every single take, or if you see something that's already good, you don't even watch the other? Does that make sense? Watch the other ones, or?
So generally speaking, a lot of people that are in independent film will just take the last take because they know that's the best take of whatever scene it's on. So if it's scene 1A take 1 versus take 4, you use take 4 until you move to the next scene, which is scene 1B take 1.
So you're not even watching the other ones?
Well, that's what most people do.
Oh, I see.
I watch everything because a lot of times if you have a really good actor, I'm going to say this one more time. I said this the last time I was on the podcast, and I talk about it all the time. One of the hallmarks of a really good actor is that they know their mark and they know where they're walking, what they're saying, and how they're executing something. If you have the nerve, if you're wearing eyeglasses and you take your eyeglasses off, if you're going to do that, you better do it every time the exact same way while you're saying the exact same word, or I can't use it. So I can't use it. It's wasted. It's a wasted production. So anyway, I digress.
Well, hold on. I got a quick question about that. So you say no matter what, you're throwing that away? I mean, you don't even.
I can't cut to it, so I'll watch all of them and see.
I've been guilty of that, where you'll do like 4.
Explain that to me,
so I'll do like 4 takes, and say I just have to walk there to that door right there. The first 2 takes, I just do that, but the second take, I pull up my pants or something and take off my hat. Well, he can't use that because you can't.
The other cameras, he can't.
You just can't. It just doesn't edit right. It doesn't cut together.
If you have a 3 camera set, like you're on a sitcom or something like that, do it all day long. It doesn't matter how good you are at that one aspect of your acting.
Oh,
because
I get it. You're
3
forgetting.
cameras.
I'm forgetting that you might have to do a scene from another angle or something.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or multiple takes because one person messed up, or there was a bottle of water on the table or something like that, and they have to redo it. Now all the good stuff I can't cut to. So anyway.
Oh, that's what it is. So you can use little pieces from that scene.
I watch all the scenes. So if it's take 1A, take 1 to take 4, I watch all of them because sometimes there is a gem in take 1 that's not in the take 4.
And it could just be a little moment, like a couple second moment.
Maybe the actor with his steely brown eyes and gorgeous hairline and big bushy eyebrows, maybe he just looks over for a second as he's talking to someone and gives a thoughtful look, like. And you want to keep that, but because he's gorgeous, he's a really handsome person. But you can't keep that because it didn't coincide with other stuff he did. But you want that one spot.
Yeah, he's wearing his hat differently.
Yeah, but if it's close enough and it's really good, but in another scene he really projected. He was a great actor. He really embodied the character. You can use both those parts. So I watch all of it together. And
did you do any takes where, like, say you have 3 or 4 consistent takes, but then like, oh, let's just try one, however?
Yeah, it happens a lot. Usually we wait till the end of that one.
So you kind of get it?
Yeah, so those are the wild shots. So what we'll do is we set them all up, and then we do all the cardinal directions that you have to do, so you don't abuse the 180 rule.
What's that?
Oh, boy. So that's... We're getting
that's hard to explain.
Okay.
I know what it is, but I can't explain it.
I apologize because I'm not an actor, so when actors come in here, I love hearing this behind the scenes.
There's
stuff,
so many things about the 180 rule though. Like you can break the 180 rule in a cool artistic way.
Yeah.
Even like Quentin Tarantino's even done it, but it's really just kind of like when I can't even really explain. It's just when the camera is over the shoulder watching another actor, when the camera has to be on the same side of the opposite shoulder of the other actor when you're doing the other one.
Sure.
You can't flip it because then, if we're removing objects with their hands into it, it's going to be on the opposite side.
Yep. There's some other things to go along with that as well.
Is this because of camera stuff?
So it's actually about viewer stuff. Okay, so you and I are talking, and when you edit this, you are actually editing with a camera next to me and a camera on the other side, so that we can cut across, people can see how we're talking and who's talking. If for any reason, this is not just the 180 rule. This has a lot to do with a lot of the aspects of filmmaking. But if we showed a clip of footage of me facing this way, straight this way, and then we showed a clip of you right next to me, we flipped it horizontal, and you were facing the exact same way, the viewer would interpret it as you're sitting on this side of me, and we're talking to a blank wall, we're talking to Keith. So whenever you're making a film, it's really important, if you're having a conversation with somebody, that the viewer has spatial awareness of what's going on in the room, who you're talking to, and that's really important. So I don't know where we're getting at because I think I'm getting a contact 180, buzz. But,
You're saying 180 meaning in front of a person. So I get that now.
Yeah. And that's just one of the aspects to the spatial recognition. Is the 180 rule, but it's mostly it's the most
now.
bent.
That makes sense.
Rule there is, but
you explained that well.
Oh, thanks, appreciate it. Let's try. So at any rate, so that's my process. So I look at all the footage, and then I kind of pick and choose what I like the most. So sometimes it's not the last shot.
But you don't sometimes take bits and pieces from each take to blend and make a scene?
I do as well. And what I do with that is, so we shoot all the scenes. So we shoot 1A to 1D or whatever it's going to be. And when you move the camera, that's the letter, right? And then however many takes is the takes. And then we do B-roll, which is all the insert shots. So if we're talking and you're drinking that that Dr. Pepper,
That squirt,
and we want to make sure that we're cutting, we can use that insert of you drinking that squirt up close and drinking it and putting it down. And we can use that insert. And that's a lot of our B-rolls inserts. And then after all that's done, we look at the actors and we say, how do you feel about that? Do you anything you would like to do differently? And we do a bunch of wild takes of them doing something differently that we might like. If it works out, we'll shoot it again in that way. And if not, then we'll just move on.
That's great.
You know, in the moment, if you're a good actor, you can ask the people that you're supposed to act and not bother just walking right up to the director, but asking and saying, hey, listen, do you mind if I try? I've interpreted the character this way. Do you mind if I try this? And they'll go get permission, and you can try it right off the bat, because maybe the director likes the idea and he wants to do all the shoots that way, so you don't waste his time. So that's great.
I've done that myself.
Yeah,
Or I terminate a line different way. I'm like, hey man, I actually think this way. Sometimes they're like, actually you're right. Or sometimes like, no, and then I realize that they're right.
You're the actor, and that's your character, and you've been studying it for a very long time, hopefully. So maybe you have an insight into it because you've gone through your process and you want to try it. So I do that, and then I do the edits, and a lot of the edits that we do, I kind of live on L cuts, which are kind of fun, where so like we'll be talking, and as you do it all the time too, so we'll be talking and you'll have footage of me talking, and then I'll cut to you just listening for a second while my voice is going over
a reaction shot,
and then it'll go back to you talking, and then it'll cut over to me reacting to you, and we kind of live off those, and that with inserts is kind of how you do it. And so that's the first thing. And then before I do anything else after I get home, I take all the footage and I actually go through every slate, and I label it what the scene was, and I label the audio what the scene was, and then I put those all in files. When I edit, I throw it all into bins by video audio for scene 1, scene 2, scene 3, scene 4. So it goes really quickly. The first day is just organization.
Yeah, and then you could just lay it out.
Yep, and you can mix the sound as you go, because that's the only thing that's going to take you the most time. So as you're editing, you can actually mix the sound.
That's what I wanted to ask you, is that seems like the biggest nightmare is the sound.
Sure, but if you slate properly and you have, depending on how many different tracks you have, lavaliers or a boom mic, you put all those on there, and then you have the slate, and you look for the slate spike, and all of them have that slate spike, so you put them all together.
So are you combining the lavaliers and the boom sound together, or are you picking one or the other?
You're picking all of them, and you put them all in together, right? Because when you...
I've never done this, so I don't know.
It's getting complicated.
I've heard certain people like, oh, the boom's getting it, we don't need to use a lavalier.
No. I always use all.
So I didn't know if you should combine all of it, or
if you have all of it, use all of it. And the thing is that you can cut and paste, because when you send your deliverables, not something like this, but your deliverables for a film, a lot of times when it goes to a big company, I need a separate track for you talking with no other sound besides yours in it, so everything else has to be cut out. For yours talking, I need ambient sound that usually comes from a boom, and then stuff we lay on the track underneath. We need all that because it has to be dubbed. Things like that have to happen. So use all of it if you can. And I mean, you might not use all of it for the final render. You might just mute all that stuff and then render it out, but make sure you get it and then sync it all up and have it there for that scene. So you don't want to miss any of that.
Well, I just mean in the final cut of the film, is the audio a combination of the lavalier, whatever it's fucking called, and the boom together, or is it?
In my films, if I have both, yes, it is, and you'll never be able to tell.
Yeah,
because it's right on the money the whole time. Because I mark it. It's only a scene. It's not like it's a 3-hour thing. I mark it, and then we just go.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's scenes in this that I used in-camera audio for one scene because it was like a closed set scene. And then a boom mic, that's all we could have in there was a shower scene. Can't have a lavalier in a shower when someone's washing themselves. So I use both those sounds. And if you can tell me you can tell the difference, you can. It's just two sound. It's just two of the same audio track together.
Yeah.
And one is a directional, one's a boom. And then if you have lavaliers, you throw those in because you want everything to be even. You don't want to sound like someone's way in the background talking. You want it all to be even. Yeah. You want to take yourself out of that space.
There's nothing worse to me than bad audio in a film. Like when I watch a film with shitty audio, and I hate when it's obviously more local shit, but like when it cuts back from scene and they don't do room tone and you can hear like the volume shift. They're a vacuum of that shit drives me nuts.
Yeah, you gotta level that stuff out. So if you do everything in advance, then when you're mixing your audio, you can actually mix it in the cut, and then you can just go back over and do a final mix of the audio when you're finished. Which is a lot of the stuff I do for Overnight Pictures. Is he'll send me and say, "Hey, can you finish these audio files for us now? We've done all the edit." And then it's just me looking at the audio, just doing this for like hours, and days and days and days. That's a brutal effing task. Try to do it when you can.
I got a quick, kind of funny story question.
Can you get a grip to get me a water? Can I have a water, please?
I can go get you.
Thank you, Yoda. Please. Sorry.
So you kind of seem to be taking on a little bit more of a behind the scenes role than doing more acting lately, right?
Yeah, a lot of it. I mean, I can't really act in anything that's a non-union project unless I'm producing it.
Oh yeah, we talked about that last time.
Yeah, so
Yep.
that's
So that
kind
makes
of where I'm
sense.
at. I mean, I still do a lot of acting, obviously, but I really do like being a creative person. I think all of us do. So I have to fill up my time every day with work, or I'll go crazy. So that's what I do. I'll just do something else. And if there's another project, I'll do that while I'm waiting for the next acting job. I have a great manager in LA. She sends me lots of great stuff, really promising stuff. And that, if they send you an audio video audition, it could take a long time to finish.
Speaking, I'm gonna check our audio, make sure it's still going.
Oh yeah, it could be.
Well, it's funny you bring up the audition stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, one of the things that we like to ask actors or film people is if you have any audition horror stories. And the reason I say this is because if you guys haven't seen it, 2 really good audition horror stories are episodes with
Well, we have clips of them. One for Damien and one for Elijah.
Yeah,
Nice.
Eliza Davis. So 2 really good clips. If you guys could show, I want to hear if you have any audition horror stories.
Yeah, I got 2. 2. They're not really horror stories, and I will go ahead and mark this with this disclaimer that most auditions are friendly. The casting director wants you to get the job because they don't get paid unless you get paid, and your manager wants to get you the job, or your agent everybody wants you to get the job. If you don't get the job, it's your own damn fault.
With that said, every actor has had
A horror
bad,
story.
horrific
There
audition.
are outliers to that set of data, and what it is so I don't want to name any of the casting
I'm
directors.
so glad you fucking remembered.
Oh, good. I don't want to name any of the casting directors because I think that it might have been an off day for you. But I'm gonna tell the story anyway, because maybe you don't know. Maybe you're an asshole every day. So for me, it was like a really scarring experience, and for you, it was a Wednesday. I don't know.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
There's 2 people actually. So there's one lovely lady that used to go to the Church of Scientology in LA when I was a younger actor, and she'd take pictures with the big actors and put them all up over a wall. And she renamed herself with a different last name like every 5 years. She used to work in Las Vegas, so like Get Out. She used to work in LA, Get Out. She works here now.
Great.
And when I first started acting again, because I took a long time off, my first audition, I went to this audition, and it was in a house. I was like, this doesn't feel right at all. This feels it's like I'm in danger. Like, oh. So I go to this house, and it's not even a model home. It's just an empty house with a folding chair and like a table, and then these really bad movie posters on the wall that someone made in their Photoshop, maybe like a free trial they had. It was really bad. And I'm like, oh God. And the guy's like, oh yeah, he's talking to these young girls like, oh, we've been in this. And he looks like Ron Perlman, the guy.
I love Ron Perlman.
Who he would have
He
bastard.
is a creepy looking dude.
I have a story about him.
Beauty and the Beast is creepy to me, dude.
Oh yeah. So anyway, let's get back to it.
He's a great actor, though.
He's actually a great. I'm just teasing. No, but he actually looks like a fat bald Ron Perlman. So, so let me get back to it. Okay, so he's sitting there talking to all these girls and how much wonderful stuff he's done in Europe and all these places, and they're like, "Oh my God!" And he's like, "Okay, and it's your turn in, and you have to go into this empty living room and down this empty hall. Not even the living room is not where the audition is, where the great area is. It's like a tiny bedroom in the back. No one's in there, and they got a DVR camera in there, ready to go do their thing. I'm like, she's like, Slate. I'm like, yeah, I couldn't hear us. Excuse me. She's like, Slate. And I was like. So I slated, and she's like, at the camera, and I'm like, which camera? You have a tiny? It wasn't even a GoPro. It was like a tiny camera. It was like a Sony one, and then there was another one that was actually nicer, but it wasn't appropriate for what we were doing. And so I'm looking at it, and it's a tiny room. It's smaller than the space we're in now. And she wants me to read the line, and she was horrible. And on the way out, I actually said, "Hey, aren't you?" And I said her name, and she goes, "No." And I go, and I seriously just really slowly just backed out and continued to stare at them, and I laughed, and the guy's like, "You forgot your headshot." I go, just keep it. And I just laughed, and I was like, I felt so dirty, and I called my wife, and I go, I don't think this is the state for me to be doing this. And and she goes, what do you mean? I said, I think I was going to be in a snuff film where I was going to be raped. It was really scary. And the movie never went anywhere. It never went anywhere. It was like a scam. But I was like, oh my God, that was terrifying. And then I was like, I'm never doing this again in the state. I'm leaving. That was the scariest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. And my second one was a very big casting director here in the Valley. He's actually sometimes a very nice person, but he's very rude. A lot of actors won't go to him at all. If he's having a bad day, you're going to know it. And we were sitting and he was being horribly rude. And he's like, why do all actors think they need to move their mouths when they act? Why do you think you need to speak so much? And I forget exactly what it was. And I said, and I told him, and he was really rude. And I said, okay, man, well, fuck you. Sorry, I don't ever say the F word, but I actually said it, so I'm going to say it now. We can bleep it out later. I don't know. And he said, excuse me. I said, go fuck yourself, you know. And I saw he started to walk out, and he says, I'll never call you in again. And I was like, yes, you will. As I shut the door. I've been called in so many times for auditions. I've never booked anything. He might be just doing it to torment me, but I'm like, yes, you are going to call me in. Don't say you're not, okay? I know where we live. It's not. You're going to call me in. I'm not going to get the part. It's fine. You're a great person. It's just you made me feel really sad. And
Are you guys cool now or something?
no, I mean, we're not cool. I mean, I know who he is. He knows who I am. But I mean, I don't go to his auditions unless it's like money. You know
Most
what I mean?
actors I know here won't go to that guy's auditions.
Yeah. And if it's money, if it's like a major brand national commercial, like if it's a sports brand, I'm there.
Yeah, that's what I don't get is that like we're talking about something that we're all trying to make money here. So we're doing this for money. This is just for money. You don't have to be a dick.
Some people are just like
come in
that
and
now.
get my shit done, get out.
This is the
we're
world
good.
where you're gonna find those people for
Yeah.
sure.
Well, it's in every community.
Yeah, but in this world,
Everybody's
they're like
gotta
extra
make
weird.
Well, I'll talk about something that's pretty taboo here. And this is something that would really give me a lot of guff from a lot of people. But I'm going to say it anyway because I think it's important. If you go to LA and you go to a casting director's office, that casting director cannot sell you acting lessons. Here, they sell acting lessons to everybody. They do theater, they do film, all sorts of acting lessons, and then they do casting. I'm not saying there's a correlation between the two. I'm just saying that those people that have paid for their acting lessons generally get more work. It makes a lot more sense, and actually, I think it's a great loophole for people starting out to get the extra work. I, however, because I like to stand on my principles so much, won't pay for those acting lessons. For one, I'm just not going to do it. Like we talked about before, I just go do the SAG-AFTRA classes because I already pay for that.
Yes.
And I feel like I would rather learn something from Michael Caine than some guy that was maybe on a soap opera once. You know what I mean?
Why wouldn't you? I mean, if you have the ability, why wouldn't you?
But I might not get the job. So it's something that's here that actually should be stopped. It just hasn't stopped. It's like a treadmill. You know?
I agree with that.
And I'm not saying these people are criminal. I'm just saying that they're dipping at both ends.
It's not just that. Then the people in the classes are liking the posts and they're all up and on that shit. And I don't do any of that shit.
But,
and I don't get those jobs. You know what I mean? So.
And there's great classes here in the Valley, and they're not casting directors.
Yeah.
I mean, for one, we talked about who was here. We were talking about him when I first got here. And
Howie?
Nope. Also a great studio. Deering is a pretty damn good studio. Kevin
Phipps.
Yeah, Kevin Phipps. He is I hear from everybody. I have not audited a class of his or even sat in the back. He's never, let me just say, he's never asked me to do it. I'm not saying he's ever done that. But I hear from people who have taken his classes that they, at the artist box, that they are, and his wife Shannon,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
That they're spot on. Like everybody that says
I've took 6 weeks of their class.
they say they're amazing. They're a great value. They're affordable. They're amazing instructors. So I would have to say people like that, you know, there's a lot of people like that. There's a few that are still good that also do casting that they're going to leave the names out of. But
how do you feel about the places where you have to pay for the castings? Like
don't get yourself a manager and an agent. They already pay for that stuff. Right. So
that's a great point too.
Yeah, they already pay for it. I mean, okay, so I have LA casting. If you have an LA manager,
I don't mean necessarily LA casting, but I don't want to say the fucking names of them, but
yeah, don't pay for those. I know who you're talking about already. I know she's a nice lady, and actually, it's great to get your foot in the door, especially when it's like $25 a month. Or something
I feel like
that.
they only cast people who are within their first year, because my first year I fucking got all kinds of gigs.
Sure.
And then I didn't get dick for like the last 3 years from it. You know what I mean?
It's kind of, they're kind of tapering off too. People are kind of getting hip to it. So it is what it is. I mean, but it's great for people starting out. It really is. And they are fantastic people. As far as non-union work goes, I think they're great people.
Yeah, I got a lot of fucking killer gigs off of that.
Sure.
I got a Volvo print shoot that
I never paid for
my
that.
bills forever.
I told them I'd never pay for it.
You know what? I
never
found a
did.
way to. No.
I said, I'll never pay for that. And the person who we're speaking about, male or female, doesn't matter. They said, okay. I said, I'm sorry. I have a lot of irons in the fire. I really can't afford to pay that $25 a quarter or whatever it was, for 4 months. And at the time, and he or she was like, oh, that's fine. And they just continuously called me for gigs, and it was great. I didn't mind, but a lot of it I just couldn't do anyway. So that's it. That's all there is to it. I wouldn't pay for it unless you absolutely have to. I mean, you shouldn't. Acting costs money. Acting and modeling is going to cost you money. It's an investment. You are a small business owner, being that you're the business. You're selling your body. You're selling your body to these people. And just like prostitution, I'm sure they have a lot of write-offs. Prostitutes probably have to write off all sorts of stuff. We are kind of like that. I have to write off wardrobe. I have to write off my headshots, acting classes that I've taken, my SAG dues. Haircuts. I cut my own hair now, so I don't have to even write that off anymore. So I just cut it.
Gas.
It's pretty bad hair.
Yeah.
So whatever,
everything.
Miles for your car. It costs a lot of money to do this job. It's not free. It's very expensive. But it's also something that we have to do. So do you have to pay for things? Yes. My manager in LA, she's on LA Casting. She says, just write my name. Of course, you don't pay anything. It's all free to you. But I paid for LA Casting because I was on it already. And I paid for it per month. It's like $24 a month. But I can add all these extra like slate reels, and I can put all my reels on my resume. And those are the things that get you noticed. So you do have to pay for those. That's a legit
site.
Yeah, but you do have to pay for those things.
That makes sense. I get paying for LA Casting.
But, pay for the things that everybody knows about. Backstage if you're in New York, LA Casting if you're in LA, Casting Networks if you're anywhere else in the U.S.
So don't,
You can't even sign up for LA Casting unless you're an LA actor. You have to be in LA, represented in LA to get that. So, Casting Networks you don't have to, but I think... okay, so I've heard stories. I don't know anymore because it's been so long. But back in the day, it had to be that way.
Yeah.
So
I think right now is the best and easiest time ever to be an actor. Just how easy it is to do video auditions, and I can imagine being an actor like in the 80s and 90s where you had to like cut out the newspaper and drive everywhere. Like
it was bad.
With the resources that we have online to learn and also to get auditions and just network, and with I was telling him yesterday podcast, the only reason I have Facebook still is because there's certain auditions on there that pay well that I've only got off of fucking Facebook for some fucking reason. Sure. It sucks.
Yep.
And so
anything that's worthwhile for me I get from either my agent Danny here or from 5J management in LA. Those are the big ones, but I'm kind of working on development. So like I've structurally only picked out things that I desperately want to do to drive my career. But when you're starting out, maybe you just want to pay rent. You know what I mean? So you gotta go on those things. You gotta do those things. I don't submit anything myself without the approval of those two people. Even my
you're sagging shit.
Yeah, well, even Bascow in Las Vegas, like I ask, like, hey, can I submit to this? Is this okay? You guys gonna do it? But up there, it's all like non-exclusive, non-union, so it's really kind of hard. If it's like a SAG commercial, they've probably already submitted you. But so you just ask if you have, if you're going to self-submit yourself. And if you're not, then wait for your agents to do their job or your manager to do their job. They will. Give them a call every week. Send them a gift basket. That's a huge thing. Send your agent or your manager thank you cards and gift baskets. When you get an audition, physically write out a card. Don't put your picture in if you don't want to. Put your picture in if you want to. But put something in it. Say thank you. Put your number and send it to them. I don't care where they're located in the U.S. A thank you card's always welcome. Even if the receptionist gets it, it's going to sit in a pile. If you don't do that, you're never getting called for anything ever again. That's not the way it works. Yeah. Do it the old-fashioned way.
This is kind of two-part last question type deal. When you were talking about casting directors and paying, you had to pay to get the castings and or like stuff. That sounds. I thought casting directors work hand in hand with regular directors that are looking for the job. Don't they say, hey, you go to a casting director and you say, I'm looking for this type of person. And can a casting director suggest somebody? So
that's a whole hornet's nest I'm not willing to get into.
Okay.
It's a gray line. I mean, honestly, it's different for
so
every
different
situation.
Out here in Phoenix, too.
Yeah, and it's different for every situation. So, and I'm not going to weigh in at all on that one there. Things can happen. Oh, that's our time.
What the fuck is that?
That's me. That's my
tip. Your bartenders and waitresses. Try the veal. It was wonderful. To mention the thing though. So Jeffrey Callender was my first agent when I was a child. I was like a child. We talked about I was a child actor for a while, and he managed everything. But he had a big yellow book, and like it looked like the newspaper, and like that's how we did things back then. He had to call people for me and get it set up. Like that's how they used to do things.
When I was in 4th grade, I kind of was into acting for a little bit. I wrote for this like newspaper in the elementary school that got me onto like Fox 15 on Saturday. I would do these cheesy news reports, and that got me to a cattle call for Free Willy.
Oh, nice.
So because of that, then they'd have these director books where you'd get your picture taken, and then it would just be in this book with like 1,000 other kids, and directors would just go through those books. You know what I mean? It was way different then.
Sure, absolutely it was, yeah. And it was different now. We got some great actors coming out of the Valley. We have some great directors because we don't have to deal with all that, you know. And especially for the non-union stuff that they have here, I think that they're doing a great job getting more union work. It's turning into a serious place again for serious stuff, and I'm really excited about it. I really am. So, and
I'm glad you're saying that because we haven't had as many guests lately talk positive things about what's going on in the Valley, and so it's nice to have somebody say that lately, just because
so only non-union stuff. We'll talk about non-union stuff first. So you have Robert Conway did the Western Eminence Hill. Got some great actors in it, great Hollywood actors, and then he hired like 2 or 3, and then everybody else was local talent. I dare you to watch that movie and tell me you don't like it. It's a great Western. It's fantastic.
You can watch it right now?
I believe you can
Yeah,
already.
I think it's on.
I'll check it out.
I went over to his house for some ADR, and I watched it. We were doing ADR. I did some background stuff.
Liza
Oh,
was
you're
in
cool.
That. I think.
No, just to help out.
Liza was in that.
Liza was in.
He's a really good actor. What
Liza's
a talented
phenomenal.
human. Sexy too, like ripped body.
Dude,
looks
that
great.
dude is so funny. He is one of the funniest guests that has been on this show.
Thanks
man.
a lot. I'm just.
Yeah. So I mean,
You're top 20.
I'm top 20. You've only had 20 guests. No, he is
top 70.
Liza, you're great. We all love you.
well, that it's funny because that's how I know about that at movies, because Liza talked about it.
Nice.
So, yeah.
I have some really great
His
great ties
horror
to that
audition
family.
story was with
Yeah.
that director.
Yeah.
That guy too. Yeah, he's great, and he and you know, his entire and all of his people, everybody, you know, his girlfriend, and you know, and the entire his entire family unit is wonderful, and I have some really strong ties, and they've done wonderful things for me as of lately. Yeah. I can't say enough good things about the entire family. I don't know if she wants me to say her name, so I'm just gonna, thank you so much. You guys are great. Yeah, but he's an amazing actor. They have was Anna Har in that? Anna Har was in that. Watch it. It's fantastic. You got that. Overnight Pictures has done a lot of movies here, and our movies just keep getting better and better and better. We just found out the October Flowers we shot 3 years ago. It got picked up on Tubi TV, a bunch of great platforms. People are just discovering, and it's a really good time to be in film in Arizona. Absolutely.
I believe that. I feel a vibe.
Yep. I have a feeling incentives are going to come back really soon.
I really do. I do.
Because people are fighting to shoot here even without the incentives. Imagine if they had them, what they could do. It's a great place. And again, another union movie. They did The Unhealer last year, Spiked. These are great movies. You know, I mean, they filmed a little tiny bit of Transformers here. I don't know how many years ago that was.
Yeah, it was a long time
They did
ago.
Was it The Kingdom?
The Kingdom was like 20
here.
years ago. But, you know, it's picking up again. And I think the non-union's filling the gap in a lot of the movies, you know, and the next film that we're going to do, I'm already submitting stuff to SAG for it and getting a big SAG production out of it and getting some investors involved. It's going to be fun. Oh, yeah. It's going to be a 5-person cast. I mean, that's how I do things. I like that kind of dynamic. It's not going to be a huge cast for me, but these things are happening. Yeah. The equipment's coming in. People are bringing in things. We have a lot of great production companies here that do just commercials mostly right now, but like Epic Entertainment's a great one. They're here. There's a lot
of cool studios too. I mean,
there's a lot of cool people that live out here too.
That's right. In Tucson too. Yeah. You got we had a guy on Sour. Yeah. His name is Ryan Harrison Riffle, right? He was he is a up and coming promising filmmaker. He is amazing. We had him play a monster. You can't even see his face, and he just embodied the character. Came up from Tucson, very little notice, and he owned that part. And you got the Ocho, Michael O. He's been doing stuff. He's a good actor, but now he's getting into film. Jesse Murphy, he's probably been on here already. If not, he's.
Oh, actually, I need to. We've talked about him coming on. Yeah.
He is a great.
He's
actor.
One of the first people I've met on a set.
He's a great creative. He's very creative. Opens for Keith Sweat. Voice like an angel. Beautiful voice. I would have him sing to me while I'm in the shower. Sometimes he sits in the corner and he just sings, and it's
Jesse?
nice. Jesse Murphy. Yeah, he sings while I'm in the shower, taking a shower.
I think I'm thinking of somebody else.
He's
Is he gangster looking as
yeah.
fuck? Oh, wow, cool.
Yeah, yeah. He holds it down for the people, but he's awesome. He really is good. There's some great ones. Again, I've mentioned him before, but he's a larger producer here, in height and in funds. Philip Penza, with Little Books, Little Films, does a lot of stuff. Scrutiny, you can see it now on Amazon Prime and Vimeo, and I think some other platforms.
I think I'm in that.
Scrutiny.
In the
Yeah,
background or
you're probably
something.
doing something. I think I acted like a.
I get all the emails and shit for that, so I think I'm in that.
You're probably in it. I watched all of it, and he did a great job. This final cut was great.
Well,
I actually
maybe you
watched it
can-
several times.
Maybe
It's
you
good.
can tell me because I just went to do background. It was literally up on
You
Melrose
can borrow
Restaurant there.
my Prime password and just watch the whole season if you
Okay.
want to. Yeah, I'll send it to you.
But he had me improvise a scene with another actress and a couple older actors, and then I don't know if it made it or not. So
Yeah, you can actually use my username is Purple D's. Is Purple D's, and then my password is for my name is Adam's the Hot One. So you can just go ahead and
okay, sweet.
Dude, we gotta change our password, bro.
that's it. That was our password.
Do you have anything
Keith's Hot One.
you want to plug or where people can find you and all that shit?
J boy. So let's see. I'm trying to think. There's
Do you
a
have an
lot
Instagram?
of shit. So keep your eye out for Sour. It's a really great thing. We did Almost Alone last year. It wound up being a 36-minute feature. We decided to cut it down and make it shorter for more of the millennials. It's a slasher film. That's on Amazon right now. Not just here, but in the UK, Canada, all over the world. It's on Vimeo. It's on Binge Horror. If you're a horror fanatic, Binge Horror is on Apple TV and on Roku and all those, Amazon Fire, and it's a subscription-based, strictly horror movie platform, kind of like
Shudder.
yeah, like Shudder. So it's on there. It's on a bunch of different platforms. It's great. It's 36 minutes of your time. If you like 70s style slasher movies, it is amazing. Nicolette Sorrentino's in that. We introduced her. It's her first acting gig, I believe. She did an amazing job. Alexis Nykamp's in that. She actually is a dance instructor and dances for the Suns as well, but she owns a place in Prescott. And the talent in it was great. Tommy Perez was the DP on that. It turned out very nice. Some people don't get it because it's a different genre than what people are used to, but it's fun to watch, and it got great reviews. And if you watch it, I get money, so why don't you just go watch it?
I'll check it out tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. It's fun. If you like murder, we have lots of murder in it, and it's fun. And what else? And Pocket Man and Cargo Boy, I'm not in that, but if you watch it, I can get paid for it. So watch Pocket Man and Cargo Boy and get ready for number 2, The Rise of Sir Longbottom, because while Pocket Man and Cargo Boy was good, and they had him on like Good, Bad, 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 which is like another podcast, those guys made fun of it, but they were really nice. And like the next time, like the guy Ben wears a hat, they found the hats that I don't know where they found them. They wore them on like another episode. Like they really paid homage to the movie, which means it's good. It's going to be fun. It's a kid's movie, but watch it anyway. And then Rise of Sir Longbottom's coming out. And then there's the Bogcast with Keith and Bryan will be out very shortly on all major streaming platforms. So if you've already watched all of them, watch them again so they can get paid. Come on, let's do it up.
Yeah,
man. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Just play them on a loop. Just hit autoplay and turn your TV off. You don't want to watch it, it's fine. Just play it all the time.
Yeah, just keep it going.
Keep it going. Let's get these guys some cash. I think that's it. I have other stuff I can't talk about, so
We'll talk
that.
about that off cam.
yeah. Oh, and Spiked will be out, I think, in spring, they said, late spring.
Oh yeah,
so,
sweet. Yeah, because we were talking about that last podcast.
Yeah,
that's
so
cool.
it takes a long time for a movie to come out.
Oh, yeah.
The Audition is a great short that we took from a guy named Christopher Williams in New York, and it's just a short, 10-minute short. It's really fun. That's on Amazon Prime right now, and Vimeo, and it's coming out on a bunch of different platforms. It just kind of, the shorts stagger. There's another one called See You Soon that was that's coming out. It's terrifying. I think it's like 7 minutes long. But
If
it's
you
really
can
scary.
send me the links for all those,
Sure.
I could put them in the description.
Absolutely. Some of the links aren't out yet because we're still
Yeah.
distributing them.
Well, I mean, like to Amazon or whatever.
Oh,
or whatever
absolutely,
The
yeah.
platforms that they're on.
Sure, there's a lot coming out. Oh my! I almost forgot. So Clay in 2011 did a found footage film called The Last 5 Days, and it sat on a shelf because nobody wanted it, I think. And I watched. I said that was really good. This was the best thing you've ever done.
I love the idea of found footage films.
Well, it's a found footage.
exactly.
He found footage.
Yeah.
Found footage. And he says to me, no one's gonna want to
You're
see
right.
that. Oh, it is. But no one's. It's like Inception. It's footageception. But no, I said, this is really good. He goes, no, it's shit. I'm not going to show it to anybody. I said, you really should reconsider what you've done here. This is probably the best thing you've ever done. And he's acting in it. He's a really good actor. So he says, okay, I'll look at it. And so he says, okay, but before I send it out, can we shoot some?
Was he like 12 when he did it?
He was young. He's a young guy.
Yeah.
He looks like he's 12 now. So I don't know.
That's what I'm saying.
He was -2 when he shot it. So he did it, and we went to a school and we shot me being a detective, because I'm either a detective or a criminal the entire time. So I was a detective, and Sandra Williams is one of the reporters. Like, all these reporters are there, and they're asking me questions about this found footage, and they show it in the beginning and at the end. And he redid the whole thing, remastered it, sent it off, and Wild Eye Entertainment picked it up.
Oh, shit.
Wild Eye Releasing. And they're releasing it. The trailer's out right now. If you look at the last 5 days, you're going to see that trailer. If you're not intrigued by that trailer, I don't know what's wrong with you. That is the...
So we can watch it right after?
Yeah, the trailer. Yeah,
All
you
right,
can
cool.
watch it. I'll
Let's
show
watch
it
it
to you.
right
Yeah,
after this,
it's great. And that's coming out from Wild Eye, which is one of our partners. They're great. They handled it very well. The artwork is amazing. Everything they did on their end is just phenomenal, and we cannot be any happier or prouder of the final product. So those are coming out, and everything else, will keep you posted, because I can't talk about it. I don't know.
You'll be back, bro.
Yep.
It's all good.
All right.
Hell yeah. Make
Wanna
sure
do
you
shout
guys check out Tales from the Flip Side. CBSI presents Tales from the Flip Side. Check out comicbookinvest.com. Check out This, That, and the Other. Check out AZ ADHD Podcast. And
quickscopeapparel.com.
quickscopeapparel.com.
Adam's Belly.
Adam's Belly. Shout out to Squirt.
How long was
Where
that
you at,
sitting
Squirt?
there anyway?
Where you at?
You gotta call them. They're not calling you.
Where you at?
Where you at, dog? Boost Mobile.
Yeah.
If they contact me, I'm not telling you.
I know you won't. That's why you got to contact me. Find me.
Nice.
Awesome. Well, thanks again for coming on, dude.
Thanks, guys. It was wonderful.
Come back anytime.
Hell yeah. And check out that fucking scary ass picture.
Hell yeah.
Badass.
That is a wrap on episode 72 of The Bogcast.
Boom.
Bang!